everybody, you're very welcome back to LeedsBros for your Wednesday night Brocast. We hope everybody is keeping and doing well. Tonight is myself, Dylan, and then we're joined by our two guests, Stephen and Jam. We're going to discuss everything Leeds United, the recent results and upturn in performance from Daniel Farke and his men. And then we're going to look a little bit ahead to the fixtures upcoming for Leeds United in a busy Christmas period and a chance for Leeds United to really push themselves away from that relegation zone and put some points on the board before January. So make sure you're getting your comments in the comment section below. If you've any question for the lads, make sure you're dropping them in as well, and we'll try and pull up as many as we possibly can. Jam, I'm going to come straight off to you because we haven't had you for a while, pal, and you're back now, and it's great to have you back. How are you keeping, and what have you thought of Leeds United's recent form?
Yeah, thanks for having me on back on, lads. It's been a while, isn't it? But yeah, honestly, it's a pleasure and a privilege to be back with you boys, speaking Leeds United. And yeah, my life's all right. It's quite busy at the moment, obviously, with my little boy and 2-month-old and sleepless nights. And I say sleepless nights, he's actually really good, bless him. But yeah, busy life. But like I said, off camera, I'll stay off camera. But anyway, Leeds United, yeah, I mean, talk about a roller coaster of emotions. You go from Man City, you're 2-0 down at half time, and you're thinking, here we go, it's going to be 5 or 6. But to be fair, Farke and the boys, they put a shift in, and they really did sort of show that spirit and that fight that we all like as Leeds United fans. And from that moment, then it's just been one good thing after another. Chelsea, I won't go far too much into it, but 3-1, you know, you're sort of thinking, right, okay, we've just proven now that we're good enough for this league. And then he moved on to Liverpool then, which I thought actually was another really, really good performance. I think what impressed me the most, boys, was, again, I know I've mentioned it already, the spirit, the fight, you know, the never say die attitude. And that goes far in this. That's going to go far in keeping us in this league. We can have all the talent and all the, I know we're lacking in certain areas, but it's that fight and desire, and they're all fighting for the manager. That's one thing you have to say. There's none of them that are not fighting for him at all. So, yeah, in a long-winded summary, I'm really happy at the moment with how things are going. But what I will say is we need to keep this momentum going. There's no point doing it for 3 or 4 games. We've got to keep moving forward now as a club and just take each game as it comes and hopefully pick them points up.
Yeah, perfectly summed up, Jam. You always summarise it absolutely perfect, pal. So as I said, it's great to have you back on, pal. Steo, how have you seen it? You're one of them. You've been on the channel before. We always say that you're a positive Leeds United fan. And pre-Man City, you were still one of them. You were positive. You were still hopeful that Leeds United were going to turn it around. None of us could have foreseen over them 3 games Leeds United picking up 4 points. Well, I couldn't anyway.
No, definitely not. Like, I'm always positive, but I'm a realist as well. And I honestly thought we would come out with them 3 games with nothing.
Yeah,
and that's the reality of it. But listen, as Jam said there, the players are fighting for Farke, and there's no player in there that you can see that isn't even born now coming on for the, you know, making 2 little appearances. He hasn't had a sniff. Like, you can see they're all there and they're all fighting. So no, as I said, I'm absolutely over the moon with the points we've gained in these 3 games. So we honestly thought we would come out with that with 3 defeats, and I think that would have been the end of Farke, you know. So now, what's not to be happy about? And, you know, bring on Brentford on Sunday and see what happens. And if we beat Brentford on Sunday, we're only 2 points behind them, and apparently they're flying. So
yeah,
it's been a great week, an emotional week, a stressful week, but I'd have no other way, like, you know.
Yeah, look, I think there what you said there, Stephen, is that we all probably talk on into that game. Them 3 games against City, Chelsea, Liverpool, we all probably thought, lads, that we're on the verge of Daniel Farke seeing him losing his job. I don't think any of us could have foreseen Leeds United being in the bottom 3. And after playing them 3 to be outside the bottom 3, I personally didn't. But the lads dug in, and from somewhere we seen Daniel Farke find this flexibility we haven't seen from him before, Dylan, being able to change it, rotate players that we've all been calling for the last 18 months. Get a really good result against Chelsea, fantastic performance as well, and a battling performance against Liverpool, never say die attitude, exactly like what Jam said, a little bit of commitment. But we're after finding a positive, Dylan, and there's a platform now that Leeds United after putting in place, and we need to build on it now, exactly like what Stephen said. Go to Brentford now and get a result.
Yeah, I think, look, straight away I take a point. You know me, lads, I'm very cool and like a cucumber. I take a point anyway, regardless where it is. But it's the formation change and starting to play the player strength, etc. You're talking about Calvert-Lewin, Meche, and and then just that midfield trio. Tanaka's starting to come up a little bit higher, so we're starting to see, you know, even more shots off him. Like phenomenal against Liverpool. But it's something like you go back to the start of the season where we were all kind of ifs and buts and maybes, and we've always talked about Leeds putting it up to the top 6 clubs, and that's what's frustrating, that we can do it and we have that fight and the determination not to give up and not to bow down. But then when we come up against, no offence, like Brentford or someone else, we seem to crumble under that pressure, or just don't seem to be completely out of, whether it's a misplaced pass, whether it's the tempo of the game, or then yet again back to Farke's, you know, late substitutions, etc. So I think for me going into Brentford, I think the 3-5-2 needs to be played, to be completely honest with you. And I think Jayden Bogle is probably going to be the most crucial player in this team for me on Sunday, for his defending and his attacking, because I think we can utilise that right hand side, whether it's a ping and pass that he gets up, or he goes on one of his gallop runs. We've said it before, whether it's on the outside or the inside. Like Gabby has it in his locker, but I think he's going through a little bit of a slump lately at the minute. You know, maybe I did see it on X people saying, you know, it'd probably change for James Justin to come into his position, but I think it's a bit harsh just yet. But see how he gets on at Brentford. But yeah, going back to what you said, it's more we need to keep that kind of confidence going into this game. And yet again, try and get the first goal. It seems to be the lift for Leeds. We can hold on to the lead a bit more. So I think for me, playing to the player's strengths is important. It's the most important thing. And, you know, just none of this kind of slow-paced football. Keep it going, keep that battle and determination in them.
Yeah, Dylan. Jam, we actually have a comment here that Ian Moore's put in as well. We put it to all you guys. He says, can I ask your panel tonight, with a recent formation change, what positions would you prioritise in the January transfer window? What would you think, Jam? Because now it's looking like if we're going to move away from having the natural wingers and Willie Nonto and Dan James and Brendan Aronson and Okafor, and we did revert back to that for Liverpool, and I think it actually changed the game. But what positions do you think Leeds should be looking for in January?
I think the key one for me, boys, is the number 10 or a playmaker. I still think we need someone in there just to unlock a defence, a difference maker, because listen, Liverpool game was great, and we were good. We would show qualities in areas, but I'll be honest, boys, they surprised me how shaky they were at the back. That Canate, I think anyone could have run at him that day, and it could have been a bit of a nightmare. And that's not taking any credit away from anybody. But I think we do need someone in there, just like I say it all the time, but like a Pablo Hernandez type player, just someone who can just like sort of ignite the crowd and bring them alive. You know, that's where I would sort of prioritize. And yeah, we really need to, like, Farke's turned it around now, but also I want to see the 49ers actually back him now and give him some funds in January, because we do need it. I'm not going to get carried away with 2 or 3 good performances. We need to build on it. We can't rest on our laurels. We need to go into our January window, and I'm hoping they're planning already for some reinforcements. But number 10 for me, definitely. What about you boys? What do you think?
Yeah, I think I agree. I think I agree as well. I think a playmaker is just seems to be that key one that's missing from the team. Someone that can find that killer pass. And that's what I think is missing. We're seeing Tanaka as well starting to chip in with a couple of goals as well. But as you said, we've been missing that Pablo player since Pablo, haven't we? We haven't really played them. Let's be honest, guys. They're very hard to come by in football, them types of players. They're the most sought after players, aren't they? So yeah, it's definitely a position that I would be looking at. But definitely in that forward line as well. If we could pick up maybe another striker as well, I don't think it'd be too bad. But you look at our midfield, it's strong, lads. As you can see now, we're starting to see Gruev come in there as well, even with Longstaff being injured. Possibly if we could get another fullback, I wouldn't mind that either, because look at Jayden Bogle, he's on the verge of a suspension. If that happens to Gabby and James Justin, you're bringing Sam Boyer in there. But I think if you could give me a chance to pick one, I think a number 10 position. Steele, what would you think?
No, I totally agree. I was only watching the Brighton against West Ham game the other day, and
yeah,
drooling over Router going, my God, imagine if we still had him. Like, no, seriously, like, he's the type of player that, I'd love in this team. Just one of them players that can just do anything. Like, don't get me wrong, he's not amazing all the time. We all had our frustrations when he played for Leeds, but he's just one of them players that can just change it on a whim. Like, he scored the goal against West Ham. He had another great chance near the end. He's just one of them players that just gets bums off seats.
Yeah.
I don't think we have that. We don't think we have that style of player. someone where you give the ball, this fella is just going to run. He's going to create something. He's going to score something. He's going to do something unexpected. You know what I mean? He might have a few faults all along the way, but yeah, that type of player, as you said, that number 10, that spark, but they're not easy to come by. Where do you find them? Where do you get them? Who's selling them?
Yeah,
who's selling them?
well,
That's the problem. Who? And if they are selling them, they're selling them for 60, 70, 80 million. We don't have that type of money. And so, imagine what would Router cost now?
Yeah, nail on the head. And with the January window as well, still, it's a tough window because you either have players that haven't been playing for their own club and are going to come in either unfit and not up to match speed, or players that aren't really good enough for their level either. So I always find the January window is one of them windows that's a little bit tough. It's always very hard to get a player that's banging form that's going to come in and hit the ground running. When you even look back to the couple of the loans that we've got, even since Farke came in, the likes of Connor Roberts not playing for Burnley, he kind of came in, tried to get up to match speed, a couple of injuries as well. So it can be very, very tough to do in the January transfer window. Dylan, what would you be looking at? Because Leeds, look at, there's no doubt about it. They need to bring a couple of players in. What would you be looking at? Who would be yours?
I think a 10 since last season. If I'm being honest, we've been linked with so many players. Buendia, Hamer, all these players that we have been linked with. And yeah, you could say, Pirro goes in there, or Meche. Like they're not 10s. They're just there to kind of fill the void. But you need someone, as Stephen said, Jam, and yourself. You need someone with that bit of quality that can come on and make a change in the game. Pablo-esque. Or it seems to be a thing that Leeds is missing at times, because it's all well and good that we're at the finding this new formation and our feet is kind of on the ground at the minute and we're all building this hype, but eventually, like the way we were playing with the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1, whatever it may be, it seems to be, whether it's the opposition, they know what way we're going to set up and they know what way we're going to play. With the 3-5-2, it's new, it's fresh, we haven't done it before, we can't keep going to that all the time, so it needs to be a change in formation when it suits, and like that, bringing on a utility player, whether it is a 10 or sound. Thanks very much. Threw me off there. I'm blushing. I'm actually blushing. Yeah, just a game changer for me. I wouldn't be, even a a full back. Preferably they can play both sides as well, just in case. A striker. I'm not asking for much, possibly.
They're asking for everything. Dylan's writing a letter to Santa here, isn't he? This fella, like.
I hope he's taking notes. Like lads, I'd like another winger, because Jack Harrison for me just drives me mad, and to see him come on if anyone's injured, just honestly, it rots me to the core.
Don't know if you're going to see him much now. Danny has a very good point here, lads, as well, because it's obviously great that we've changed to the 3-5-2, and we were all calling for a fan base for weeks before Daniel Farke done. I remember pre-Burnley, myself and Dylan spoke about the possibility of going with a 3-5-2, and you were saying as well, Stephen, about Gabby Goodmunson. You think that he would be a lot better in that wing back position that we've seen his galloping runs and been able to get forward. But the 3-5-2 Jam against Liverpool, obviously it didn't work great. The second half, Liverpool came out, they hit us for 2. They had us penned in as well for 10-15 minutes of that second half. Leeds United couldn't get out. And then we've seen another change from Daniel Farke again, that flexibility that he seems to have started now. I'm reverting back to the 4-3-3. And it's nice to have that versatility in the game now for Leeds United, that we're not knowing that it's 4-3-3, Okafor left, Brendan Aronson, Roy, Calvert-Lewin through the middle. We know the midfield 3 and the full-backs. And if we know it as a fan base, the opposition managers are going to know it as a fan base. So Leeds have this flexibility now and this opportunity to change personnel, which is a good thing.
Absolutely. I think the last 3 games has proven that as well. Man City, we started off, I think it was the 4-3-3, sorry. Changed up then in the second half, and I don't think it's a coincidence that we changed that. We've been playing to our strengths. Farke was actually thinking, right, hang on a minute, now we got Beale, Strauch and Rodon. They're all very capable defenders in this league. I think any Premier League club would be lucky to have them. What I will say, boys, and I know we've changed the 3-5-2, but what I don't want to happen is for us just to be wedded to that style.
Yeah,
I wanted to have different strings to his bow. If we go up against a Man U, it may not work against Scum. It may work against our. There's different sort of things that he's proven now in the Liverpool game as well. Like you said, he made the adjustment after we were pinned in for 10 minutes. So I kind of want him it would surprise me, boys, one game if we went, like I don't know, like a 5-3-2 or a 4-4-5-1 or 4-1-4-1. There's different formations and different systems that you can play for each team. So I think that's vital for me. In the Premier League, you need to have different sort of styles and it's like a boxing fight. Different styles make what they say it. Different styles make good fights, or something like that. I think it is, or something like that. But yeah, that's for me. I think that's important. We need to. It's great that we're seeing this from Farke. It's a shame we haven't seen this earlier in the season. But yeah, I just hope we just carry it forward now. Honestly, that's what I really want.
Still, I think Jam has the nail on the head there as well, and there still is a concern over Leeds United's away record now. Look, we've seen a really good performance against Manchester City. Probably Leeds United away from home this season. Even against Wolves, we weren't too great because we went 1-0 down against them as well. That's something that Farke does need to change. That's the one thing that's still a concern for Leeds United is our away record. So it's going to be interesting. You mentioned it earlier on against Brentford away from home, an opportunity to pull them back into the relegation battle with us. How's Daniel Farke going to set up? Are we going to see the same passive football, or are we going to see the new flexibility from Daniel Farke? It's interesting this weekend.
No, he has to show the flexibility. And the likes of Nathan Collins, if it is only the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front, he will just stick to him like glue, and he'll win as many headers as he's going to win. So hopefully, I'm hoping that Nemecha is there as well, and we have them two options. But
me too, yeah.
That there has to be that flexibility, and this is the whole point of. As you listened to your show the other night, and you were talking about we just because we were Farke out doesn't mean we can Farke back in, but we were Farke out because he hadn't got that flexibility, and now he's shown it. So he is showing it in game flexibility, and that's what it's all about. It's like, well, this is not working. Collins is beaten. I'm not saying Collins is going to beat him to every header.
No, but you're right. You're right in what you're saying. Yeah.
If it is, and that's what happened against Liverpool. It was only Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Van Dijk was on him all the time. It's only going to go to him. We're not going to go to Okafor. Whereas when we had Nemecha and him, both of them could win that ball. So, and then in fairness, Farke did see that and he changed it up. So it's a case of that Farke needs to see this again. And, we all slagged Key Andrews and, how.
Yeah.
But like he's not doing too bad. So he's shown that he can change and Farke needs to do the same. And he has shown that he is doing the same. So he just needs to keep that going, So it's, and again, we're going to London, we're going to Brentford. Sorry, and we don't have a great record in London whatsoever. So hopefully this could be a turning point if we do go down there and get 3 points. And Farke does show a bit of flexibility, which he needs to, because you can't just, and that's what we were all calling for. And that's all. None of us. I don't know about you, but none of us. I definitely wasn't sitting here going like, I can't stand this, man. I really backed up.
I think for me, what it was I don't know about you lads, was the. The stubbornness. We've talked about this religiously, and it's more, I would say, now he's going to realising what the Premier League is about, if that makes sense, and learning to adapt. And I've said it last year throughout the season, Darren has said it, you guys have said it, everyone in the chat has said it. It's very simple, there's no plan B, and I think that's what's frustrating when we are losing. 100%. Like you go back to Liverpool, obviously he made them changes. The substitutions came on and they made an impact straight away into the game, and that's what you want to see from your team. I'm not necessarily saying it's not always going to work. You might not always win, and we get that, but you need the crowd behind you. If you see a good player that's coming on that has made an impact in the past, examples, Pablo Hernandez, you can turn around and start to feel that faith. The players will start to believe it. The manager starts to believe it. But now with his formation changes, and as Darren said, to be able to revert back in game to whatever formation it is, that's what kind of gives me, I don't know about you lads, that kind of comfort when going into a match, as to opposed to waiting for the 70th minute and then you see Brendan Aronson coming on and you're hoping for the best. No disrespect to Aronson, but I just mean, or chucking on a load of strikers and seeing what happens. So I think for me, it's more about the rotation. For me, is very important, and just that kind of be able to change in-game management, because that's something that Farke has certainly been missing. And I think it's like anything, and I'm not saying I'm Farke in or I'm Farke out, but like, I'm not trying to, how to say this, I'm not trying to vouch for him here, lads, but he is learning as well. Yeah, we all have to understand that as well, and I know, like, it's our club at the end of the day.
Do you think, Dylan, that it came down to, and this is for three of you boys, do you think that, look, there was a lot of outside noise about Daniel Farke pre-Manchester City, that Leeds could possibly get a hammer in, and Chelsea and Liverpool at home, and you're probably thinking to lose them as well, that his job was under serious pressure, so we knew he had to roll the dice in the second half against Manchester City with Dan James getting injured? I'm going to try the 3-5-2, and it might be a little bit of a blessing in disguise. It's just unfortunate it took so long to get here, lads. Again, we've seen similar situations with Elan Meslier when the whole fan base was saying Meslier needs to be dropped after Hull, and he stuck with it until it was untenable. And it felt like it got to that situation again at halftime against Manchester City, that again we're sticking with the same thing, the 3-5-2, the exact same personnel. I know James and Nanto came back in, but it was like Jam that it was eventually Farke gave that stubbornness in that, right, I do need to show a little bit of flexibility here because my job is on the line here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like there's nothing wrong with being stubborn at times. Obviously, you know, the best managers are stubborn. They're married to their styles, and that's fine. But sometimes you do need to adapt, and you know you can get away with it in the Championship because we had the best squad in the Championship, and I proved that by winning the league by how many points we did last season. I have actually got I have actually got a question for you boys, and I'm not sure how you gonna feel about it, but you know, Farke's done well now. The last 3 games is a bit of hope, and he's given us a bit of belief again. But you know, when would you sort of say is if we lose our next 3 or 4 games, do you think he needs to go then, or do you think you comfortable now with Farke leading us now for the rest of the season? That's my question.
Really good question. Steve, do you want to go with that, pal? Cracking question, Jim.
It's hard. Like it's like I was backed Farke all the way up until the bad run that we had, and I've always said it that we deserve more points than what we should have, but then deserving more doesn't, you know, it doesn't. At the end of the day, we don't have them. So, based on the last 3 games, if he continue to adapt the way he has and react the way he has, and you know, if they can add a couple of players in January and he can get the best out of them, why not? Do you know what I mean? If it's we're not Wolves at the end of the day, Jan. We're not. You know, we're not a lost hope. No. Let's say we beat Brentford, which is going to be a tough task. Let's be honest. We're 2 points behind them. They're having a great season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, so, yeah. No, it's just like I said. I'm not saying I'm in or out. It's just I'm just interested.
I'm the same. I'm the very same. I'm torn. It's like I'm really torn. I do like the man. I do think he has. You know, he's getting. At times he's getting the best out of the squad that's been given to him, but at times that he isn't. So if he reverts back to the way he was with the stubbornness, he needs to go. And that's the reason I wanted him to go, was that stubbornness. Sitting in Elland Road and waiting for it to get exactly 70 minutes on the clock until you make substitutions. That's not managing. That's just that's a script. You know what I mean? So exactly. So he's shown another side to me in the last 3 games against 3 of the toughest teams we're going to play in a row. So he needs another chance. He needs another. Let's give him another till Christmas. Let's see what happens until Christmas, and then we'll sit here and we'll have this conversation again, and we'll move on from then. You know?
But go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, Dillo.
I think if you had to sack the man now, and don't get me wrong, lads, you can bookmark it. I went back a few weeks ago. I was Farke out. Am I still Farke out? My mind's all over the place at the minute because we're starting to put it up to the big boys. Do I think? Am I confident? Let's start with that. That Farke will keep us in the Premier League. I don't know, and no one will know until it happens towards the end of the season. You sack that manager now, you're bringing another manager in. It's the same players, and nothing changes. All you're changing is different personnel in the sense of probably formation, tactics, etc. And only going to possibly confuse the players or learn to adapt and, you know, trying to get everything up and running. But what I will say, come Christmas, if the 49ers, or sorry, January, when the 49ers do invest, and we are still playing bad, or we're still dropping a lot of points and silly points at that, as Stephen said, we should have had a bit more. Well, then that question could be asked. Because I think now, considering the form, it's kind of up and down at the minute, it's a bit hard to judge. It's a bit hard to just go all guns blazing and sack the man. So I think for me, get to January and see what way we are. Or as Stephen said, get to Christmas and see what happens. But for me now, I think he's keeping his job by a thread.
I think you're right there, Dylan. And I think at Elland Road, Stephen, you said it at the very start of the season, and Jan, we spoke about it as well, that Elland Road is a fortress. And I know we say it, and as the Leeds United fan base, of course, we're going to say it, but we've seen that against Chelsea and Liverpool. When it's hostile and like that, and the players and the fans work in tandem together, it can be a really hard thing to stop. So I think at Elland Road, we've seen Daniel Farke's record. It's been sensational, lads. The 4th year in the Championship last season and this season as well. It's been really good at Elland Road. No one can deny that. It is that away record. It's Leeds United. It's away performances that I think put Daniel Farke in the position the way he did, because we had a couple of away fixtures in a row You looked at Burnley away from home, lads. We've seen the exact same setup against Brighton away from home. We've seen the exact same setup of Forest away from home, the exact same personnel. And I think that's what led us to that, is that what we're all saying is that he didn't have that flexibility. We were seeing the exact same thing for every single game and not shaking it up, 70-minute subs. And that's why I think it led to that. So at home, I'm confident with Daniel Farke. I'm confident with Leeds United that we can turn anybody over on any given day. We even think Palace at home, we have a massive opportunity to pick up 3 points there. It's away from home, lads. We could play Burton Albion away from home. And I'm not too sure the way Daniel Farke set up, because he seems to have this thing in his head since he became manager of Leeds United that away from home, you have to set up defensible, and it's very hard to pick up any sort of points away from home in the division that you're in. So that's why this weekend and these 2 away games that we have in the next 3 against Sunderland away on the 28th and this weekend against Brentford is to see how Daniel Farke now reacts. It's away from home. That's where the question mark still is. And Steve, you can't solely rely on your home form to try and keep your own division. You need to start picking up points away from home, particularly as what you said, these teams in and around us, Leeds have to start picking up points.
Oh, definitely. And like, is the game that we play in Sunderland, are all their players gone to the African Cup at that stage, or is that?
I'm nearly sure they are still.
Yeah,
I'm nearly sure they're all gone, yeah, because it's coming soon, isn't it? Yeah.
So like that's something you need to be targeting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't be going in there defensively. If he goes in
Good
there
point, yeah.
defensive minded, like you know, they're losing the core of that team. Let's be honest.
Mm.
You know, so you know, there's 3 points you should be looking at. That's not guaranteed, like and anything. But yeah, the away form has to improve. Like we keep saying that Elland Road's a fortress, and it can keep you up. You can keep you up at a whimper. Do you know what I mean? All you need to do is pick up a couple of draws away from home. A couple of draws.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to go into every game being defensive because you're looking for the draw. You don't always have to look for the draw. Who's just, why are Brentford any better than us? Why? I know they have better off in points, but that's down to small decisions and things that didn't go for us in games and things did for us. So go in there with heavy confidence. Go in there with the same belief against these teams, the Brentfords, the Wolves, the Crystal Palace.
Sunderland's all them, yeah.
The Sunderland's all them. You know, we're playing Crystal Palace at home, but again, we're going to win there with a belief against them. Why believe against them at home and not believe against them away? Like I had a great Liverpool mate of mine who I work with, and he was like, see us at Anfield. And I was like, yeah, I can't wait. You know what I mean? I can't wait. Why should that be? I know there is a difference for us, but like, just go in there with the same mentality. Just go in there and go, yeah, we're going to compete.
And Brentford is big as well still. Like we said, like they're only 5 points ahead of us, but as you said, It's been made out that Keith Andrews has them playing unbelievable and they're having a fantastic season. If Leeds can go there the weekend and peg them back in, that really pulls Brentford back down towards that relegation zone, where before Man City, lads, everyone was asking the same question, well, who goes down instead of Leeds? Because West Ham's form was after getting an upturn under Nuno. Forest were after pulling away. Fulham with Marco Silva, they were having a good run of results as well. And Brentford weren't even in the equation here. So that's why I think this weekend is massive. If they pick up 3 points, that probably gives them a massive cushion, doesn't it? And probably pulls them away from it. Where if Leeds can beat them the weekend and results go our way, it's wide open, and then it's anybody can stay in the division. So I agree with Joe. I think it's so important for Leeds United to pull them back in, but also from Daniel Farke as well to try and get rid of this away hoodoo that seems to be hanging over his head.
I actually have a question. You go back to the away record we were saying there, and just for everyone in the chat as well. Like, do you think it's a situation because we keep playing more or less the same players of each game, whether it's home or away? So, for example, if we have a match on Saturday and not till the following Sunday, it's more or less the same lineup. You go back to last season, we seen Gruev play a lot of games away from home. This season, we don't seem to be doing that. We seem to just be constantly playing. Stack, obviously, if he's injured, then, Longstaff, obviously, he's injured now. But, I mean, do you think that it's a thing with Farke? He just keeps going out with the same strongest 11 of all time?
I think a lot of injuries probably lead into that as well, with Nonto and James being injured, lads, with you. That Farke probably felt like he went into the season with the mindset, I'm going to go with the 4-3-3, and Okafor, James, and Nonto was a massive part of deciding to go with the 4-3-3. So I think when the two of them got injured and then Aronson had to go out on the right and be a makeshift right winger, Farke didn't really know how to deviate or how to change. But we had a massive chunk of games there over 4 or 5 games where Leeds started playing poorly. and he persisted with it, and it just wasn't working. And you could see we just hadn't got the quality to play that 4-3-3. You need them 3 forward players to have maximum quality, and when we have the likes of Jack Harrison and Brendan Aronson playing on the wings, you're not really going to get that. So, I would say, Dylan, it's probably more so down to this season is the injuries that Leeds United picked up in their positions and the formation that we were playing. But you're right, you're bang on the head now, is that we're seeing players that we haven't seen. Gruev, Borneo, Bial, James Julson. We're seeing these players that we haven't seen. Even Tanaka, lads. Tanaka was sitting on the bench for game after game. We're starting to see him now as well, and Mecha and Calvert-Lewin up front together. So I think this 3-5-2 suits us because it gives us an opportunity to rotate more and see more of these players. And you have to rotate playing that sort of style, I think, personally.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Is like, you can see that you got Beal, you got Rodon. I really do like that 3 at the back for us. I think that's like we've all been saying as fans. That's what you want to see for weeks on end. And I think this away record, I think Steo, and I think you mentioned it, Daz. I think the mentality seems to be like, right, let's just go with it defensively, and if we get a point, happy days.
Yeah.
That's my own. That's why I fit. That's the way I see it. Some of these away games, we're like, right, let's not get beat. If we pick a point up, that's an extra point gained. And I'm not saying he's relying on the home games because our home form is that good. I think it's kind of like a safety blanket for us sometimes. I think, right, let's just go. If we can go away, if we can go to Brentford, get a point, then that's great. Sunderland, personally for me, boys, I think we need to be going to these next 3 or 4 games. I think are big games for us. These are games that we need to be targeting to get some points. We've proven it already in the last few games now that we can put up the big boys and frighten them. And let's just hope Santa's got 3 points in the start game for us. Because honestly, boys, I've gone off on a tangent, but I just really do want to just see us just really just knuckle down now and really sort of play without fear. I think that's a big thing as well for away from home. Just play without that mentality of, we've proven it already. Let's just go there. Let's just go to these clubs. Let's go to these grounds and prove that we're Leeds United. That's what we need to do.
But that's it, Theo, though, isn't it? Like, we were saying it as well, that we knew we were going to be up against it this season coming into the Premier League. But it was the performance levels and probably the commitment from the players that we weren't seeing away from home, and then completely chalk and cheese then from what we've seen against City, Chelsea and Liverpool. So the standard feels like now to me that the standard is set, that these players have shown that we can mix it with the best in this division. Doesn't mean we're going to win every single game, but the minimum should be that performance level now every single game.
Yeah, no, definitely. I listened to Darren Cunningham last night on the Leeds podcast.
Yeah, great podcast.
He said an amazing thing, and he went, Farke hasn't been outplayed, he's been outmanaged. You know what I mean? He in terms of that, he's stuck in his own head. He has his own this hoodoo about playing away from home versus playing at home.
Yeah.
And obviously we don't have world stars, and we keep saying that, and I agree we don't, and we have a lot of players there who are unproven in the Premiership. The likes of Okafor, I was very frustrated with Okafor, I have to say, against Liverpool. I thought he done what he needed to do, but there was one particular moment in the second half where he broke, and he just, I don't know what he was doing, he just ran into
a hole.
Yeah, exactly. So it's hard. We don't have the biggest squad in the Premiership, but we're going in there with a poor mentality away from home, and that's the problem. We're setting ourselves up all the time, as Jam said, defensively to get the point. Get the point, fair enough, but get the point while trying to get 3 points. You know what I mean? That makes more sense to me. Like, it's like go out there with. I'm not saying we're going to go away to the Etihad and the Emirates and all that, because that's just not reality. We're talking about we're in our own league here. It's from 10 down to where we are, and that's who we're targeting. We get at and against Chelsea like we did, Liverpool like we did, nearly against Man City. Happy days. But we just need to be more. And if we go out and we get thumped and we put in an effort and we get thumped, well, then we get thumped. Where Leeds fans will accept that.
Yeah,
that's when we're going to the likes of Sunderland and we're going to the likes of Brentford, and no disrespect to them, they're not Leeds United. They're not. We might have better squads on paper, but let's give them a game. Let's show them that we're not there to just make up the numbers and
roll over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I think you're right there, Steve. Look, when you think back to Burnley, Brighton, Forest, it felt like them 3 teams didn't have to do much to pick up them 3 points against us. Like Brighton didn't even break a sweat against us. Forest as well just leisurely got themselves back into the game. And Burnley, lads, it was crazy that they were in the division with us last year, because they looked a million miles better than us. And as you said, does it have something to do with the tactics, the way Farke is setting up the players' mindset going into the game? Right, you know, be solid. Let's try and get a point here today, rather than going out there and being aggressive like what we've seen the last couple of games. I don't think it's an issue that Daniel Farke was losing the dressing room, because we still did see players giving it in the last couple of games. So I don't think that's in question about Farke losing the dressing room. But I think now that's still the question over Daniel Farke now and over this Leeds United side is away from home, is that you still don't know what Leeds United side are going to show up. As I said, away from home, I'd back us against absolutely anybody. It's away from home. That's the worry now. So Farke needs to bring that into them away games.
It's like we're trying to find our identity, if that makes sense, away games. I know that sounds mad. We just seem to be a bit chop change all over the place and no kind of drive going forward. And I know Elland Road is a fortress. We all know that. And it's great when you're at it, especially a Liverpool game. Like it's unbelievable when you're in Elland Road and the place does be rocking. You know, you feel it. But it's like we lose our identity when we're away from home. We always say, come on, Leeds, get stuck into them, sort of thing. We just don't seem to do that. You know, even same thing again, I'm not just calling out one individual here, but Ampadu, for example, he doesn't seem to be the same person in Elland Road, you know, with the tackles that he does be thrown in as well. So I think it's an identity thing for me, lads. I don't know about you, away from home. But I actually have another one for you as well, lads. This season so far with Farke, what do you think is his biggest, what's been his best, tactical or mentality kind of shift under Daniel Farke this season?
It has to be the change, the 3-5-2. It's just as I said, unfortunate that it took so long. When you know we're just fans. You know, none of us are qualified in the professional game of football. Obviously, some of them are, but you know, a lot of us were saying to change it to the 3-5-2 that we could see with the personnel and the way Leeds United recruited in the summer. It was set up to play the 3-5-2. It was set up to go this way. And when you're not seeing the likes of Biala cost you £15 million, Borneo who's been injured, not getting a run, you know, players on the bench that we hadn't even seen, a 10 million James Justin just sitting there. That's what makes you start to scratch your head, Dylan, when he's persistent with something that isn't working. And you know, Bielsa always said it. Sign of madness is continuing with the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And that's what Daniel Farke was doing. And I think that's why it got as bad as what it really did. But as I said, it might be a blessing in disguise that Dan James got injured. Sorry, Jam, against Man City. And Farke really had no choice then to go to the 3-5-2. And we've kind of feels like we've stumbled upon this and discovered this out of nowhere. And I think Farke he said in his last previous press conference that he's not really big about base formation, that base formation is not really a big thing. It's more about the players and the personnel. I don't agree with that, lads. I think formation has a massive thing in football and how you set up and how you play. The question here from Danny that I think is really good, and it's a very valid question. He says, question for the panel here, 3-5-2 only work with DCL and Metja up top because I don't think it works with Okafor. Jam, what do you think about that? Is it a thing that one of them players are injured that we have to go away from the 3-5-2?
It's a good question. I think the thing is with Perry, his kicking's very direct, isn't it? So there's a lot of short passing. Well, his short passing is non-existent. Let's be honest. He just thumps the ball up front and hopes that DCL knocks it down. And tough one. I don't think it's just those two that can just play that. I think Okafor. Okay, he wasn't at his best against Liverpool, but I do think he's a very capable player, lads, in that central position. More so Okafor than others. And yeah, it's a tricky one. It's something to think about, really, because I do think there's other options. I think we have to change the system. Maybe we have to change the formation, and perhaps like it is with Perry, perhaps not go too long sometimes. I know we've been sort of saying we need to go more direct, but maybe some games we can afford to maybe try and dominate the ball, and I mean that against the teams that are around us, not against a Man City or a Chelsea or that kind of thing. But I have actually got a question for you boys, and it's just sort of off topic a little bit. What do you think of Yacobil since he's come in?
I think it's Theo. I know you're a big fan of Theo. I'll let you have that.
I think he's been excellent, to be honest with you. I just think he needed a chance, and I think he offers that safety like safety blanket to Rodon and Stroke, that they know he's there behind him. Yeah, he's you know, he played in a formation that didn't really suit him. This 4-3-3 or 4-3-3 is really suiting him. You know, scored the goal against Chelsea. Yeah, I don't think he's put foot wrong in these last 3 games, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm delighted with him as long as he plays in that. And for me, it allows Rodon and Stroke and him to play together. So for me, they're 3 solid. Like I haven't seen not one person, give out about Rodon's mistake against Liverpool, because he has so much credit in the bank that you know, he's been an absolute. I know I'm going away from be all, but Rodon for me has been an absolute warrior for Leeds. He's played 100+ consecutive games.
Crazy.
And I think
Crazy
having a player like be all beside him will make the likes of Rodon and Stroke even better, because they have that extra safety blanket in him there. He's not the most mobile player. He's not. He's a big lump, an old school defender. That's what it's probably reminds me of Robin Molyneux. He used to have all the back in the day. No, seriously, the Terminator, that type of player that just no fuss, put your head in, put your leg in, and have them 2 lovely players either side of him, and Stroke and Rodon, who can play football.
Set piece as well, still like that going forward. Like we've seen, without Stroke can score, Rodon can score, and Bial can all score. Set piece as well, and they're all different sort of centre halves. It's allowing Rodon and Stroke to actually play a little bit as well. And as you said, he's the one. He's like the break up and give it, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
Utilising the height as well.
Yeah,
that's a big thing as well. We bought these players in from, you know, we were all getting slagged throughout the summers, you know, about the statue of height that we were getting with Stack coming in. You know, Perry himself. It seemed to be such a Leeds are really going for big ideal players here. And you know, Bial, obviously, we go back to when he first played for Leeds. He was very poor in that game. Everyone was, but we're starting to utilise his strengths. And with that, obviously, he can't play in a back 4. What Danny said there, it's not that he can't. I just think he needs time sort of thing. And he just seems to be a bit more comfortable with Rodon and Stroke there. And as Theo said as well, it's great to see that the 3 of them are playing, because you lads, like, I was a striker and I was going up against them 3. I'll be running the other eye. Like, do you know
is it just that there, Dylan? What you said is that they need time to bed in. Was it just the thing as Leeds fans is that we're impatient, that we're after signing this £15 million player, we're expecting him to come in and hit the ground running, and it didn't quite happen, Jam? So is it just a thing that it just took time? Like, can he play in a back 2 or in a back 4? That he just never got the time to settle in, because he was thrown straight in against West Ham, which I didn't think he was bad. He was a little bit rusty, and he wasn't great then again at Brighton. So was it just a thing that he just needed a little bit of time to bed in? And now we're starting to see these players that we recruited in the summer. We're starting to see the best of them now.
Absolutely, I think I'm impatient as well. You want all the players to come in and hit the ground running straight away. What I will highlight is in a 4-3-3. I think as a centre back, you're sort of exposed more. Personally, because I think the 3 midfielders that we've had in there haven't done. Listen, I just don't think they've, because the way that Sean Dyche, you know, he set his Forest team up in the second half, and we looked overrun in midfield. We were out on our feet as well in midfield, and that's where I think I will give a bit of leeway to Yaka, is when that happened in Forest. I think the midfield, I don't know where it was. But that's when we needed someone, you know, I would have gone 5 maybe in the midfield, just to crowd out that midfield and just to sort of, you know, so I think we are impatient, but I also think you can play in a back 4. Bial, that's my personal opinion. And like I said, some people may not agree with that, but I think you can. But it's just all about the styles and, you know, making sure your defenders are not exposed when we do get countered. Personally, that's what I think on the whole thing.
Yeah, I think, and Emord has it here as well. Also, 3-5-2 has improved Ampadu, and I think you can probably say that for every player, lads. Like, I think we've seen the best of all. We've seen a lot more from Gabby. Stroke looks a lot more solid. I know Rodon made the mistake there. Maybe it doesn't suit him, suits everybody else. But I think it just suits these players. But it is, when it doesn't work like what it did against Liverpool, is don't be afraid to change it either, just because we won 3-1 against Chelsea. I don't want Farke to keep that in his head. Well, this worked against Chelsea, so why isn't it working against Brentford? Why isn't it working against Palace, etc.? That every game is totally different. And see, instead of being scripted on the 70th minute, knowing exactly what subs you're going to make, you need to change to whatever's happening on the pitch, because football's not scripted. We know teams can change it up. So now that we have that flexibility now, I think it's fantastic. And actually seeing these players, I'm excited now as a Leeds fan that I don't know what team is going to come out against Brentford. what way we're going to set up, who's going to play, and that's a good thing. Which is where before some of you have watched my starting 11 shows, 9 times out of 10 we've got the nail on the head, and it's not a hard thing to do. Like, it was fairly easy. So as I said, for us, if we can pick and choose, what team it's going to be, opposition managers were well going to be able to set up against it. So it's definitely a different dynamic. I'm really liking the look of Bial as well. I did a video just before that game where I absolutely went in on the Leeds United recruitment about Bial, about Justin, about Borneo. I'm like, what are these players? Why did we even buy them? And then we seen them against Manchester City. So it was good. It was good time.
I think it's a fair question though, Darren, as well. Like, they own that video because considering the money that we spent, and let's be honest with you, none of them did, as what Jam said, hit the ground running. That's what we want as fans. That's what pre-season is for. That's what your build up to a transfer is, and none of them really did. And it shouldn't take this long. We're nearly at Christmas to start seeing regulars come in. Like even Borneo now, I know he's only getting charity minutes, but he's starting to get minutes in the legs more. Whether it's a thing with Farke, whether his job was on the line and he started to more or less crap his pants in way, and he'd start bringing these players on. But like, let's be honest with you, lads, it's like going out and buying something and not receiving it for weeks and weeks. There's a lot of money spent there, and no one was being utilised. You could say Perry, fair enough, and he is an upgrade. But yet again, he has a shaky start as well, lads. His kicking is atrocious, let's be honest with you. But his saving, the shot stopping is unbelievable.
That save against Liverpool, lads. Like, that save against Liverpool from the Van Dijk header was top drawer.
Here's a question, right? Right now, if you were in charge, Brentford on Sunday, right? Few points beforehand, right? Who would you start in there? Would you start Darlow or would you start Perry?
Yeah, you can't. It's Perry now, lads.
Oh, Perry all day.
It's Perry now.
Yeah,
it's Perry now. I think that's probably the least of our worries is our kicking. I know he's kicking the ball out of play and it isn't fantastic, but that's something that can be worked on. That's something that can be coached. If it's something with like Melier where he was coming out and fisting the ball and dropping the ball into his own net and making mistake after mistake and being beaten at his near post, I think that's when it becomes an issue. Perry's not doing that. Perry is making some fantastic saves. And let's be honest, that's what he's there for, to keep the ball out of the back of the net. But I think we have seen some improvement in his kicking, lads. Like, it doesn't happen overnight. I think if you look back to the Aviva against AC Milan, his kicking was horrendous. Against Newcastle at home, his kicking was particularly poor. I know it's still not great, but I am seeing small improvements, and I'll take small improvements over no improvements at all. So he's definitely an upgrade. It's
great.
100%
It's great not to see the keeper, kind of the ball at the feet and the falling over. We've seen it with Melier. Me and you said it loads of times there. When it is being knocked around at the back, whatever formation it is, you see Abadou slowing the game down. We're losing 2-1. It's the 70th minute. You're waiting for these substitutions. It gets back to the keeper, whoever's in there. They take their time, and it seems to when Darlow was put in net. And I'm with Perry, by the way, lads. I'm just using Darlow as an example. When he was put in there, every time the ball did go back to him, he didn't even take a second guess. It was gone. It was hoofed up the pitch, out of danger, out of sight, out of mind. And then when Perry comes back in now, Perry's been doing it. So I don't know if he's got that from Darlow or if it's a management thing. But we seem to be more comfortable at the back now, whatever formation is, even with the goalkeeper in there. So there's definitely been an improvement with Perry's kicking. But I'm liking the fact that we're not just tiptoeing it around the back and then just hooving it up sort of thing. But I mean, when it is coming back and we seem to be under danger or caution, and you can kind of see that we're on the ropes a little bit, it's just gone. And it's not getting kicked out of play anymore. If he's noticed that, remember the loads of times just gets kicked out of play.
Yeah. He's definitely improved.
I've been impressed with that. That it's just get it out and get it up the pitch.
I think for me it's just nice to actually just, when an opposition player is through on goal, I'm actually like have a bit of confidence that our keeper's going to save it rather than the French hologram in goal. So I mean, that's what I'm going to say. I'm not saying it, but I mean literally, it's just nice having someone in net that can actually. I'm not saying he's going to save every shot, but it's just nice just to have a bit of security at the back rather than yeah.
When you think of some of the saves that he has pulled off, do you remember Bowen's overhead kick against West Ham as well? He made a fantastic save down at Forest as well, a point blank double save as well. So he does pull off some worldly saves as well. So I can take, if he's a keeper that's kicking is absolutely perfect, he's pulling off worldly saves. He's not at Leeds United, lad. So I can take his kick out's gone a little bit out of play the all time if he's going to stop the ball going in the back of the net like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've been so scared from Melier that.
Seriously,
we have as a fan base, and now we're judging Perry on every simple little mistake that he does.
It is.
Yeah, it is. It is a pure anxiety thing. Like, we're never gonna have to, as Darren said, if he's doing what he should be doing, he's not playing for Leeds United. You know what I mean? So we have to accept he is what he is. And at the end of the day, if he's not doing it, I've a lot of faith in Darlow as well. So look, you can throw Darlow in, but we can't seriously, we can't keep slating him for everything that goes wrong. He's kicking the ball long, and he was at the start of the season. He was made to kick the ball short, and it doesn't suit his game. So that's not his game. So play to his strengths. Like exactly, look what they're doing to the whole squad now. Play to our strengths, and look what's at the happen. So at the end of the day, that's a managerial thing. That's not an individual thing. If I can't kick a ball, I'm a goalkeeper. I'm not paid to play. I'm not these goalkeepers now that have to be sweepers. This thing. Why did they all have to be sweepers? Why did they all have to be a defender? You know, Melier would twist and turn and didn't do us any good, did it? You know what I mean?
That's it.
It's because Man City play like it. It's because Man City play like it's steel. That's why it's ruined football. Darren, it's like, they do it. Well, we got to do it as well. But you're right. Play your strengths. No, exactly.
Lads, I've actually one more question in the back of my big brain.
Big fat head.
Massive head. It's not nice, is it?
We'll be here all night, Dillo. Come on.
Yeah.
Lastly, I just want to talk about Noah Okafor, lads, and what he's thinking of him this season.
I think he's sorry. Go on there.
Oh, go on, Steve. Go on.
I think he's very hit and miss. I think he's very raw. I think he's trying to do all the good things. I think sometimes, like Dan James, when his head was ahead of his legs. Do you know what I mean? I don't think he's 2 steps ahead of himself all the time. Yeah. Whereas I can see there is a very skillful player in there. I can see why we signed him. I'd seen him watching him in the Aviva that against AC Milan. That there's something about this kid, you know. So I just think he needs time to settle in. Like I had a Liverpool fan tell me the other day that Wirtz needs 1 year to settle in. 1 year. Paid £116 million for a player that needs 1 year to settle in.
He's only second best those days.
Exactly. Track is way back. But like that's what and we're judging a player who, and he's never played in the Premiership. I hear from him. It's like either has Tanaka, either has Okafor. Do you know what I mean? So I think different players will settle at different times. But I honestly think there is a player in there. I just don't think
me too.
Yet.
Yeah. What about you, Jam? I do think there's a player in Okafor. He reminds me very much like when Somerville first came into this Leeds United side. A little bit raw, a little bit rough around the edges. Definitely has a little bit of quality there, and it's just about getting him settled into English football. Well, it's a massive transition from Italian football, lads. We know how slow and Italian football is. It's very tactical as well. So I do think he will go up to speed. I'm with you there, still. I like him. He's a good player. He can play second off the striker as well. He can play on both sides as well. So I like that. He's a good option.
Yeah, he is. I think that's a really good comparison. I think Somerville, because he has got very similar traits to him. Obviously, he's quite physical as well. I quite like his physical presence sometimes, and he seems to not get nudged off the ball easily. And listen, he hasn't set the world alight, but you can see there's a really good player in there, and he's like raw, and he'll beat a defender, he'll run with the ball, and that's what we want. We need players who are going to sort of take the game by the scruff of the neck and see if they can produce for us. And yeah, I agree with you boys. I think there's something there. We just need to see more of it now, hopefully consistently.
Yeah, proof. And I think Mr. Whitesnake has it here as well. Give Oaks times, he will settle as well, and everyone settles at a totally different times. We're all not going to settle at the exact same time. So I think there's good to come. Just before we wrap it up, lads, there's one player that we have to mention tonight before we leave here, and I think we all know it's coming, and it's Steele's favourite in the world. It's Tanaka, lads, because I think plaudits have to go to him. His strike against Chelsea was absolutely unbelievable. And to come on and play the way he played against Liverpool, particularly after being dropped or rotated for that game, to come on and do what he done, Steele, he's unbelievable. I think the fan base are have to find a new fan favourite. He's unbelievable, isn't he?
And he is class, and he's not the best player in the world either, but he has
Stephen. He is.
Yeah, he is.
Stephen.
He is. But like he just has this drive about him. He has this mystique as well that the ball sticks to him, and he's something different than what we have in midfield. We have all these defensive, and I think Farke needs to unleash him. He needs to take him off the leash, play him up for give him the freedom. Don't be using him as a defensive midfielder.
He's much better up there, lads, isn't he? He's much.
We have enough of them. We have enough of them players in there, the likes of Stack and the likes of Longstaff and stuff, that they can do what Ampa do. Let him off his leash. Just give him a free run. Just give him a free rein. Let's see what he can do. And he's doing it. And he's you know. And do you know what it is about him? What I love about him so much is that he's not getting all the game time, and he's not sulking, and he's just coming on. There's a smile on his face, and exactly. And he's playing football like he loves football, and it's just no, he is okay. He is the best player in the
world. He is though, Jam, isn't he? But like Stephen mentioned it there, is that we seen him utilised as, you know, that second midfielder last season as the sitting one, and we all seen glimpses in Tanaka that he's able to make a pass, he's able to score goals. We were all saying, let's get him up there. We're all crying out for a number 10. Don't have to play him number 10, but let's get him further forward. And we're seeing that with this 3-5-2 now with Tanaka, is that Stack and Ampere were the ones sitting a little bit more, and we're seeing Tanaka being allowed to go off and do his thing. So it's class to see, and we're seeing the best of him, I think, now.
Oh, absolutely, and it's a joy to watch players like Tanaka play for the club, because he's just a naturally gifted technical player, and like Steve said then, touching on the Japanese culture, I mean, very respectful people. Their culture, they really respect everything, the heritage about the club, and you can see that he's a real humble guy as well. I think that's what makes him even better in my eyes. Is he may not be flash off the pitch, but it's just that humbleness that he brings, and I think that just makes him even more better in my eyes. I think he's brilliant. I think it's going to be hard to keep a hold of him in the summer, if I'm being honest, no matter what league we're in. I think there'll be a lot of clubs sniffing around. I just hope that he stays put with us, because every time I see him on the ball, you just think, is something going to happen here? And it does most of the time.
Yeah, I think it's nail on the head, Dylan. He just, them little toy spaces, to see how calm he is when he seems to be 2 or 3 around them, and to be able to just one little turn of the ball and he's gone and he's away. He has that extra little bit, doesn't he?
He has everything in him. He has a tackle in him. He has a shot on him. The man can turn water into wine. No bother at all. He's phenomenal to watch.
3 million, lads. 3 million.
That's mad.
I think you said it there. I think being let off the shackles, as Steve said, is really what the best we can get out of him, because lads, he's not afraid to have a shot. We've seen him shoot from mad places, and that's something that we've been missing probably last season and the season before. Players, that kind of Matthias Klick kind of person to not be afraid to have a shot, and it's great to see. And Darren, you called it a while back when we actually signed him. Let's try utilise him in the 10. And it'd be interesting. I would love to see it. I really would. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he did go in the summer to another team. All of a sudden,
give it up now. Give it up.
I'm saying he'd be playing in the 10, and we'd be all sulking. We will be,
Like Theo said it as well. Like he was playing the exact same position as Florian Wirtz there, 116 million. And Tanaka only costs us £3 million. So as you said, there is gems out there. So at the moment, give me out Tanaka every day of the week over Florian Wirtz. I will take him. But just a quick one, lads. I'm gonna go around the room just before we wrap it up. Jam, I'm gonna come to you. One of them periods ahead for Leeds United, the Christmas period. You don't know what's gonna happen. 2 away games, 2 tough games. Palace at home looks like a tough game on paper as well. Leeds United can come through this unscathed. We have a real opportunity then going into the new year, don't we? It's a crucial period, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're on 15 points at the moment, right? So I'm thinking if we're at 2021, I'm happy with that. Yeah. I know I might sound negative, but I think that's a good little halfway point for us to be 20, 21 points. That's 5 or 6 points, and I think that's doable, especially in the next few games. So why not get into January then with those points on the board? Then we can build on that, and then the momentum will just keep building. It. So that's what I'm hoping for, boys. Hopefully Santa knows I've been a good boy this year. and he can get them points in the bag for us, because honestly, this club is just the passion I have for it, and as you boys do, it's what we all live for.
It's everything, isn't it? It's everything. Yeah. Theo, what about you, pal? We're booked up now to go over to the Scum game. That's still a little bit away, but these next 3 for Leeds United, they're important. If we can pick up a couple of points in these, we're giving ourselves a real chance.
Yeah, no, definitely. As Dillo said in the show the other night, if we can be sitting there eating the Christmas dinner with a Christmas hat on and we're there with the relegation zone, that's all I'll ask for.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's it. That's if we can do that going into January, game on. Do you know what I mean? We'll go in the new year and we'll see what happens then. And hopefully Liverpool are still wobbling as they are.
And beat them at Anfield again.
Beat them, imagine.
Be nice.
Imagine. And
4 points
Man
off
United,
Liverpool being nice.
Exactly. Man United at home. anything can happen in that as well. So
Absolutely.
let's just. I'm only looking at look yourselves, lads, as far as Christmas, and if we're out of the relegation zone at Christmas, I'll be happy.
Good chance.
That's my Christmas present. You know?
Love that. Absolutely love it. Right, lads, we will leave it there. Really good show. Really enjoyed that. Thanks very much to Stephen and Jan for giving up their Wednesday night coming on and chat with us. A pleasure. Hopefully we get to do it again, guys. If you have enjoyed the show, guys, please make sure you drop a like on the video. And if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. I forgot to say a quick shout out to Jam as well. He has set up his own YouTube channel about men's mental health and mental health in general. I am going to drop his channel in the link below, so you can go check it out as well for a little bit of different content. Sorry, Jam, I did mean to mention it earlier.
Thank you very much. No, sorry, thank you.
Do go check that out as well, guys. So we leave it there, guys. We catch you later on in the week for your match preview ahead of Brentford. So we leave it there, guys. Mind yourselves, mind each other, and we catch you in the next one.